It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 333. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters, we are gathered here today to get into another one of these true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious what the is going on type of videos. Hope y'all doing excellent out there today, and I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. Now the channel that we going to today, y'all, just got me excited because it's like every video that we have ever watched from this channel is always just superb. You know what I'm saying? This channel just does a great freaking job. Awesome job. 10 out of 10. And that channel is Lazy Masquerade. Back to the lazy man, y'all. And this is a blast from the past because he put this video out over 2 years ago. But we still gonna check it out because I love this series from him. I love these type of videos that he make right here. And the title of it is 10 Chilling Photos with Disturbing Backstories. We already know this shit finna be crazy as fuck, man. Like every time we watch one of these disturbing backstory videos, it just wows me. Like I said, 10 out of 10 channel. The lazy man is freaking awesome. And we finna see some more of that awesomeness right now. But before we see, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need. We back to the lazy man once again, my friends. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go. The lazy.
Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare.
The lazy starting out with the commercials. Skillshare, man. Y'all fuck with Skillshare now. Alright, we're gonna take it back right here and let's go.
Sign up and invest in yourself with Skillshare.
Christine Rush.
This is the last known image of 22-year-old Christine Rush, captured on June 26, 1989, as she went to withdraw some money from an ATM machine. Christine lived in Lenexa, Kansas, with her roommate, Teresa Brown. The pair were last seen at their apartment in the town's Trafalgar Square area on June 25th. The following day, Christine called up both Teresa's boss and her own, and told them that neither of them would be coming into work that day due to ill health. After making those phone calls, neither Christine nor Teresa were ever seen or heard from again.
Damn.
An investigation into their disappearances was quickly launched. Just 2 days later, on June 28th, a car belonging to a wanted man named Richard Grissom Jr. was discovered parked outside an apartment complex in Grandview. Inside his vehicle were items that belonged to both Christine and Teresa, such as their jewelry and credit cards, as well as a key to their apartment. A key to the apartment of another missing woman from the local area, Joan Butler, was also found inside.
Wow.
Grissom was quickly tracked down and arrested just over a week later on July 7th. A painter and decorator by trade, Grissom had master keys to numerous apartment buildings throughout Lenexa. He also had a history of violence, having committed his first murder at the age of just 16.
What the fuck? Well, why the hell his ass out then? He should be locked the fuck up, don't it? Shouldn't it?
Though none of their bodies have ever been discovered, Grissom stood trial for the murders of Christine, Teresa, and Joan. He was found guilty in 1990 and was given 4 life sentences. He's also believed to be a prime suspect in at least 2 other slayings. Despite not being eligible for parole until 2095 and having nothing left to lose, Grissom has never told the police where he buried any of his victims.
Wow.
Which brings us to this picture of Christine, the last one of her ever taken, captured on a surveillance camera.
And see, I was gonna say this shit earlier. I was gonna stop it earlier, y'all. But y'all seen how I was looking when Lazy Man first showed us this photo. I looked like that shit look weird. For that to be that lady last photo, y'all can't tell me that photo don't look weird, man. Like, it's something just weird about, I don't know if it's her hair with the glasses. I'm just getting a weird vibe, a weird energy from this photo. And I know some of y'all got to feel it too. Like, this looked crazy. And this was her last freaking photo. Wow.
At 10 p.m. on June 26th, she drove to an ATM in Belton, Missouri, and emptied the bank account of her roommate, Teresa. In this very moment, she was being held against her will by Grissom. Detectives believe that Teresa had already been killed by this point,
Damn.
and Christine herself would meet the same fate shortly after withdrawing the money for Grissom. Given the backstory, this black and white image of her face becomes extremely haunting.
Now I see why I was getting them damn vibes from this photo. Because she literally right now has been kidnapped. Not kidnapped by Grissom, but held captive for homegirl. She withdrawing money, hoping this motherfucker will go away once she give her the money. She give him the money. Like, she in a fucked up state right now. And it's written all over her face that she some going on. And you can see it. That was crazy. Gone platinum.
Dale Kerstetter worked as a maintenance man and security guard at Corning Glassworks in Bradford, Pennsylvania. He was last seen at 11 p.m. on September 12, 1987, caught on CCTV walking with this man in a balaclava. That night, $250,000 worth of platinum piping was stolen from the plant, taken from the room that the masked man was leading Dale towards in this picture. Not long afterwards, the masked man exited the room alone, dragging with him a large black bag. Dale was never seen again, and to this day, his body has never been found. Looking at this image, it's easy to conclude that Dale looked directly into the camera as a plea for help, a way for him to communicate to whoever would see it later that his life was in danger.
Yep.
However, some believe that he was actually in on the whole heist from the start, and looked into the camera as a way for him to say, "Got ya." You see, moments before this image was captured, Dale was seen talking very casually with the masked man in the back area of the glassworks, and didn't appear to be in any distress. In fact, he roamed freely around the complex, and wasn't constantly supervised by the masked figure. Those who think that the pair were actually accomplices believe Dale either escaped through an unmonitored exit, or was actually double-crossed and slain by his partner in crime, probably while they were bagging up the piping. Indeed, according to the Glassworks manager, quote, "Whoever removed the platinum from the tank was extremely familiar with the plant. Everything in the plant. They knew exactly where to go. I think the fact that he did everything in front of the camera was once again just Dale Kerstetter saying to us, 'Look, hey, here I am. I'm taking your platinum, and there isn't a thing you can do about it.'" Dale certainly had a motive to take part in the heist. He was about $40,000 in debt, and had just taken a major pay cut due to cutbacks at the plant. That said, his family believe that his money problems were manageable, and that he would never abandon his 7 children and 2 grandchildren without so much as a goodbye phone call.
And see, that's why I don't believe the theory that they was in on it and now Dale just and suddenly just disappeared forever. Like, nobody know where this man at. So I'm drawing a conclusion, my brothers and sisters, that he's dead. Somebody killed him. Now, it's possible that him and the masked man could have been in on it, and the masked man ended up double crossing him after they stole the money. Then he killed Dale. But it's either that or Dale was actually getting kidnapped, well, robbed or whatever, forced to do this, and then he got killed. But I don't believe that Dale freaking left his whole freaking family for this money. He left his whole 7 kids, a wife. No, that's not what happened. Dale got killed, man. That's what happened.
What's more, when sniffer dogs were brought to the scene, they tracked Dale's scent to a glass furnace on the 2nd floor, an area where Dale's usual rounds wouldn't have taken him. So, was Dale Kerstetter caught off guard by this unidentified perp and killed during a one-man robbery, then placed into a black bag along with the valuable pipes and dragged from the scene? Or was he in fact in cahoots with this masked figure, and either escaped to start a new life elsewhere, or was slain by his accomplice and burned in the furnace, or bagged up? Was this glance at the camera braggadocio, or one last cry for help? Given how long ago this happened, we'll probably never know for sure.
Yeah, this is one of them cases where we'll never know, y'all. We'll never know what happened. But like I said, I'm going to go with the theory that this man freaking killed him. Now, I don't know if Dale was in on it or not, but I'm pretty sure this man killed him, because Dale disappeared for all the years like that. No. Nah, we not going with that one, man. But another thing real quick, y'all, that I ain't even thought about till just now. The saddest part is the man in the damn black mask never got caught, period. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get caught from stealing. He didn't get caught for potentially the murder of Dale. That man just lived scot-free with all that goddamn money after committing such a horrible crime. That's the most sad part about that one. But let's go. Bad magic.
In December 2019, 56-year-old Adrian Menneveau took his elderly mother, Felicity Loveday, on a 3-day boat trip in Melbourne, Australia. But this wasn't a casual and relaxed trip on the ocean that one might expect. This was a ritual. Adrian had taken his mother out to Port Phillip Bay in an attempt to rid her of bad magic and cleanse her body of evil spirits. Both mother and son practiced Buddhist mysticism, and, according to a friend, Adrian himself was convinced that he was Christ reborn. Felicity had also been a worshipful master in the Co-Freemasons, an extremely secretive society that, reportedly, have very bizarre beliefs and practices. With Felicity's health on the decline, Adrian believed that the sea water would help to dissolve the evil magic within her and restore her to full health. As such, Adrian purchased this small boat, which he registered and insured in his sister Christina's name. He also gave his sister all of his online passwords, banking information, and his last will and testament, in which he left his entire estate to her. Christina came to wish the pair of them bon voyage on December 11th, and took this photo of them preparing to set off on their 3-day trip. When they didn't return, she reported them missing on the 14th. Their capsized boat was later found floating in the bay, along with their life jackets. To this...
Hold on, am I missing something in this story? Because why would he give all his information, his emails and his passwords, usernames, bank account, whatever he gave over to his sister, unless he already knew that he was finna die? Like, he gave all that stuff over like he know that his life was finna end. But why though? Am I missing something? What the freak going on? Why would he do that?
This day, neither Felicity nor Adrian's bodies have ever been found. It was quickly determined that the pair of them had set off with only half a tank of fuel, far too little for 3 days on the water. So, there are obviously a number of suspicious elements to that whole narrative. Why would Adrian purchase a small boat for a multi-day trip on the water? The boat itself was far from suitable for a long voyage, what with there being no sleeping quarters or space to freely move around. Why did he leave everything to his sister Christina just before setting off?
That's what I'm saying.
Why did Christina take this strange photo as they departed? And why wasn't she concerned about her frail mother spending 3 days and nights on the ocean?
Hey, now I'm looking at the photo even harder, y'all. These folks literally now really starting to understand what the lazy man saying right now. Y'all literally was gonna be out there on the on the ocean, out there at sea, for 3 days like that. Y'all ain't got no goddamn well to sleep. I guess you got a little food. Y'all ain't got no protection from the elements. Like, dude, bro. Man, this has been a one of them type videos that just got me like, why are they doing this?
Why did the pair remove their life jackets, which they were clearly wearing in this picture? And why had Adrian Google searched sea burial in the days before he and his mother disappeared? In response to those questions, several interesting theories have emerged online. The creepiest of which being that in this very picture, Felicity Loveday was already dead.
Whoa.
Christina then took this photo as fake proof of life evidence to try and show that Felicity was still breathing when she and Adrian set off on their voyage. During the trip, Adrian then dumped Felicity overboard, and then ended his own life, leaving his entire estate to Christina. That, or he faked his demise, escaped in a smaller boat that he had purchased, and is now hiding out somewhere as we speak. By leaving everything to his sister, she'd be able to support him in secret, without him needing to set up his own bank account. To be clear, those are all just theories, and Christina herself has come forward and denied that her mother was already deceased in this photo.
Do y'all think she already dead, y'all? I'm just saying, man, I ain't trying to be funny, but goddamn, she do look kind of lifeless to me in this photo, man. You know, she an older lady and she not looking at the camera, but it's very plausible that they got her propped up, that's the word, propped up like this. Dead. You know what I'm saying? That's possible, man, just looking at this photo. The lady really don't, I don't see nothing from her that look like, but at the same time, maybe she can be sleeping. Y'all think she's sleeping? I don't freaking know, man. This one, I don't know what theory I'm gonna come up with for this one.
Claiming that she was just taking a nap. As it stands though, the truth behind this bizarre picture remains a mystery. Whatever the case, this is the last time that either Adrian or Felicity were ever photographed.
And I'm gonna go with this, y'all. I believe that Adrian knew that him and his mama wouldn't go survive this 3-day boat trip. Because we going off the evidence of him giving his estate and all his property over to his sister. Bro, why would you do that if you just going on a little trip? You acting as if you going because you know you going and you know you never coming back. So this was some kind of crazy ritual suicide. We gonna be born again. All that craziness that some of these cult people and crazy weirdo type people do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think it is, man. Rest in peace to them, though. I hate they went out however they went out, because however they went out, it really don't matter. It was tragic.
This is the iconic final image of Chinese guerrilla fighter Cheng Benhua, standing before her Imperial Japanese captors in April of 1938. A fearless and unbreakable woman, Cheng led a resistance movement against the Japanese forces in Nanking, who had just killed her fiancé a few months prior. In this moment, she was well aware that she was about to be executed, and had just been tortured and raped by several soldiers shortly before this photo was taken. Refusing to give her captors the satisfaction of seeing any trace of fear, she instead defiantly stared them directly in the eyes. Minutes after posing for this picture, Cheng was bayoneted to death by the very men sat laughing behind her. She was...
Bruh, W to Cheng, man. This lady is a boss, man. This lady, W to her, man. Cause she know they gonna end up killing her. She know she about to die, but she ain't gonna give them the satisfaction that she's scared at all. She got a fucking smirk on her face. She's smiling. Like, bitch, I'm not worried about y'all, bro. If y'all finna end my life, that's what y'all finna do. But guess what? I'm gonna be strong and I'm gonna stand on what I believe in, and I don't give a fuck. Now what? Do what you got to do. W the chain.
He was just 24 years old. Impressed by her strength of will, Koichi Yamashita, the commander of the Japanese unit, wrote her name and age on the back of this photo as not to forget her. The image finally surfaced in 1992 when a Japanese veteran who had worked with Yamashita gave it to a Chinese journalist. He had come into possession of it decades prior, and, in his old age, worked with Chinese academics to atone for his actions in World War II. The photo was widely circulated throughout China, and today, a statue of Cheng stands in Nanking, commemorating both her bravery and her spirit.
That's what's up. Dylan Steve.
Next up, a chilling image captured by an ATM security camera. On the night of November 1st, 2017, a 26-year-old man named Dylan Steve stopped at a cash machine in North Miami Beach. As Dylan was making his withdrawal, he didn't notice the hooded man in this image quickly sneaking up behind him from a dark back street. That man, later identified as 17-year-old Marcin Hill, had been lying in wait for somebody to use that Bank of America ATM. He approached Dylan with the intention of taking his money. Dressed in a Kill Batman hoodie, Marcin aimed a pistol at Dylan and demanded all of his cash. Dylan dropped the $260 that he had just taken out onto the ground, and Marcin bent down to take it. As he did, Dylan lunged at Marcin and tried to disarm him, but his plan backfired. Marcin fired a shot at point-blank range into Dylan's chest before disappearing into the night. Still conscious and pumped with adrenaline, Dylan made his way over to his mother, Sandy, who was waiting for him in a van nearby and who had witnessed the entire thing. But unfortunately for Dylan, his robber had also just become his killer.
Damn.
After approaching his mother, Dylan collapsed to the ground and died shortly thereafter. It didn't take long for detectives to figure out that Marcin Hill was the one responsible for Dylan's death. The 17-year-old had a long criminal history, having first been arrested at the age of 10 and then 14 more times since.
Wow.
He was picked up just 2 days later in Lauderhill.
This dude was a fucking menace to society from the age of Dennis the Menace, like from a child. First time getting arrested, you 10, then you got arrested 14 more times in the span of 7 years. Like this dude, yeah, he was just going down the wrong path and we knew where he was gonna end up. But no, man, I just want to tell y'all, man, like, hey, be careful going to these fucking ATMs at night, especially them ones that's outside. And then for some reason where I live, y'all, like I bank with Wells Fargo, the freaking ATMs, it be so dark around them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this should be one of the most lit up places at night ever. And they have lights, you know, a couple of street lights or whatever the lights called, you know, but I feel like it should be way more lit up, man, because that shit is dangerous and you never know who can come around the corner with a gun, with a pistol, aiming at you while you trying to get some money out the freaking ATM. That dude killed him over $260 goddamn dollars. Ridiculous.
After accepting a plea bargain, Marcin was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 25 years behind bars, followed by 10 more years of probation. That sentence, though, has done little to satisfy Dylan's family. In his mother's words, quote, "Marcin took my life when he took my son's. He's a menace to society. He's the devil." Marcin Hill is scheduled for release on October 30th, 2042. He'll be 42 years old.
Straight fucking bullshit. That's why I started shaking my head as soon as I heard 25 years. 25? That's it? He will be out when he's 42. That man he still got a whole nother half of his life to look forward to. Outside of prison after he done killed somebody and took their life away from them. That's bullshit, man. He should be spending the rest of his life in prison, my brothers and sisters. Or the death penalty. Final photo shoot.
Whether you're for it or against it, Singapore is one of a handful of highly developed countries that still makes use of capital punishment. Though it's common for prisons to offer their condemned inmates one final meal request, at Singapore's Changi prison, they actually have another, much more unorthodox practice. A final photo shoot. In the lead up to their hanging, inmates are permitted to dress in whatever clothes they like, and are then brought into a room and professionally photographed. This image is then printed out, framed, and presented as a final memento to the inmate's family, either shortly before or shortly after the sentence has been carried out.
This is some fucking weird ass fucking shit here. What in the fuck? What in the fuck? I'm at a loss for words.
Some believe this practice to be a good thing, as it leaves the family with a final memory of their departed loved one. Others believe it to be cruel and inhumane, saying that the photos only serve as a painful reminder of their family member's fate. It was at one of these photo shoots that this image of Nagarendram Dharmalingam was taken, sporting his favourite clothes and a blank expression, fully aware that this would be his final ever picture. In 2010, Nagarendram had been sentenced to hang for bringing 3 teaspoons worth of heroin into the country, something he claimed he was forced to do. Independent medical experts examined Nagarendram and concluded that he was actually severely intellectually disabled and only had an IQ of 69. A widespread international campaign of support for the young man followed, which even included personal appeals from Stephen Fry and Richard Branson, directed at the nation's president and prime minister, urging them to spare Nagarendram's life. Despite that, the Singaporean government refused to reduce his sentence. For 13 years, Nagarendram spent most of his days in solitary confinement. That is, until just 2 months ago, when the 34-year-old was brought out to take this photo. Thereafter, he was led out to the gallows, and, at first light, on April 27th, 2022, his life was cut short at the end of a rope. Throughout Singapore, there's actually widespread support for capital punishment. But, given Nagarendram's circumstances, many of the practice's supporters were critical of this outcome.
Shit, I'm critical too, man. See, that's why y'all know I was just doing it, cause I complain and chastise and talk shit about, you know what I'm saying, the U.S. government and how we handle life in prison, or how many years somebody get, or should they get the death penalty. And a lot of times I feel like in the United States we too damn lenient. But then you go places like here and they too damn serious. They too damn strict. They hung this man. They gave him the death penalty because he snuck 3 teaspoons of heroin into there. Like, that's just beyond too strict, man. Like, I'm glad I live somewhere where you can't be goddamn killed by the government, like getting the death penalty just because you brought some drugs. Just because you in possession of drugs. We ain't that damn crazy. I'm glad we ain't that crazy. And I'll never go to Singapore either. Cause boy, it seems like they'll goddamn lock you up for the rest of your life if you goddamn run a red light. Shit.
This photo shows 22-year-old Canadian Danielle Kendall on a hike up the Cotopaxi volcano in the Central Highlands of Ecuador. A chemical engineering student back at the University of Calgary, Danielle was not only intelligent, but fiercely athletic, and was a medal-winning member of her school's track and field team. Always one to chase adventure and challenge herself physically, Danielle joined a guided hiking group that began scaling the volcano on June 2nd, 2013. Shortly after this image was captured, a huge chunk of ice the size of a car fell from the top of the volcano. It struck Danielle as the group made their descent. She was killed on impact.
Damn. And that's just one of the ones where you just like, man, what's the chances of that happening? just happened out of nowhere and that lady's just gone off a freak fucking accident.
Next, we have these before and after shots of Evgeny Stepanovich Kubitev, an artist, writer and teacher from Russia's Altai region. When the Germans invaded the Soviet Union in 1941, Evgeny joined the Red Army to fight for his motherland. A chilling prospect, given the enormous losses that the Russian forces were suffering. Still, he saw it as his duty. Just 3 months into his service, however, he was wounded and taken prisoner by the German forces. Evgeny was sent to the infamous Coral Pit, where few who were sent survived. The camp was essentially just a quarry with a few buildings scattered around, buildings which few of the inmates were allowed to enter for warmth. Most were left to survive in the elements, though there was little actual surviving going on. 90,000 POWs and civilians perished inside Korol's gates in the few years that the camp was active.
90,000?
As one other well-known inmate, Danilo Schmuck, put it, Korol was, quote, a pit of death with prisoners dying like flies from hunger, exposure, and epidemics. Evgeny was able to distract himself from his living nightmare by creating these haunting drawings depicting his time at Korol. When the guards learned of his artistic talent, they began making him draw portraits of them as well. They rewarded him for his work with low-quality food. It wasn't much. Scraps, really. But it was enough to keep him alive, while most others around him perished. In 1943, Evgeny made a daring escape from Korol and rejoined the Red Army once again. He fought until the end of the war in 1945 and helped to liberate others who had suffered in German camps along the way. Still, the Soviet High Command refused to award Evgeny the Victory over Germany medal for his service, due to the fact that he had allowed himself to be captured back in 1941.
Wow.
These before and after shots say it all, really. The story of Evgeny's fight for survival is written all over his gaunt and wrinkled face.
Yeah.
A young man who aged a lifetime in just a few short years. And that vacant stare. One can only imagine the horrors that those eyes saw during that time.
You ain't lying, lazy. Like, you can look at the photo on the left, y'all, and then look at the one on the right. You can tell he have went through a lot of shit. Like, his eyes on that left ain't seen the same shit that his eyes seen on that right photo. That right photo is after he have been through unimaginable craziness, man. This is a photo, this is a before and after of somebody who have been through it.
Horrors that troubled him for the rest of his days. He may have survived, but his innocence most certainly didn't. For the rest of his life, Evgeny was haunted by nightmares, but found solace within his art. He died on January 29th, 1973.
R.I.P. Princess Diana.
On the night of August 31st, 1997, Diana, Princess of Wales, and her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed, departed in a limousine from the Hotel Ritz, Paris, along with their bodyguard, Trevor Rhys-Jones, and their driver, Henri Paul. Since Princess Diana was such a high-profile figure in the world, she and Dodi were being hounded by paparazzi, and as they left the hotel, they were pursued by dozens of them. In an effort to escape them, Henri Paul entered Paris's Poste Almar tunnel, going at about 65 miles per hour. But what nobody realized was that Mr. Paul had been drinking and was feeling the effects of both the alcohol and the prescription medication he was on at the time. His reaction time and ability to control the vehicle had both been severely impaired, and those factors, combined with the speed of the vehicle and the flashes of the cameras, resulted in disaster. This is perhaps the final photo taken of Diana's vehicle before it crashed inside the tunnel, taken by a paparazzo who had chased them down and overtaken them. The picture shows a clearly startled Henri Paul behind the wheel, dazed by the flash of cameras, the wildness of the situation, and the cocktail of substances in his system. In the passenger seat sits bodyguard Trevor Rhys-Jones, In the rear, we can see the back of Princess Diana's head as she looks out to see if they were still being pursued. Dodie sat beside her.
Hey, and I have seen this picture a million. I ain't gonna say a million. I'm exaggerating, but y'all know what I'm saying. I have seen this picture plenty of times, y'all, and I never really realized that the damn driver do look like he under the influence or something look wrong with him a little bit. Just the way he looking. You know what I'm saying? He look like he kind of out of it, like he not himself right now. I never really paid attention to that. This was sad, man. And I was a young child, like what? I was like 6, 7 years old when this happened, but I still can remember it because it was all over the TV, and my mama and everybody had it on CNN watching it. At the aftermath of it, I still can remember this.
Seconds later, Mr. Paul lost control of the limo and swerved into a pillar. Dodie Al-Fayed and Henri Paul died on impact.
Dang.
Princess Diana passed away shortly after. Trevor Rees-Jones was the only survivor and needed facial reconstruction surgery due to the severity of his injuries. Although the photo does show Diana mere moments before the crash, this actually wasn't the final photo of her taken alive. As she breathed her final breaths, the paparazzi continued to snap photo after photo of her before the emergency services arrived. None of those photos have ever been publicly released, but they likely do still exist somewhere in somebody's private collection.
That's crazy as hell, y'all. I never knew this part of Princess Diana death as far as the story go and everything that happened. That people, and it sound 100% just like us. It sound like humans. Humans will do this shit because they still do this shit in 2023. Somebody die in the most fucked up way and be literally still be right there, fucked up, dead. And guess what humans will do? Take pictures of them and post it on Facebook. I'm not lying, man. I know y'all have seen it. This is what we do. I'm not gonna do no shit like that, but some humans do that shit, man. That's the bad side of how far we have came with technology. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, this was paparazzi taking photos of them, but it went on internet to post it to. I guarantee you, if Princess Diana was to die in 2003, everything played out except for it's not 1997. It's 2023 now. And it's 2023 when this happened. I guarantee you, people who would have seen the crash before the ambulance and police and all that got there, they would have been running up with their fucking iPhones and Androids, taking pictures and posting it on Facebook. I promise y'all that, man. I promise y'all that. And that's just disgusting to me. That's disgusting to me. I don't know. And the disgusting part is, why you want to take pictures of somebody's dead body and then post them to social media? And when I say dead body, like, it's one thing to post, let's say they funeral service. You know, people post, people, take pictures of people dead body in their casket and stuff like that. Okay, that's one thing. But this lady, more than likely, I don't even want to put the images in my head of how she was looking after that car accident, and that's the pictures y'all want to take photos of. And like I said, in 2023, them same pictures would be out to the public because people would have been uploading it to goddamn X and Instagram and all that. Let's go.
In August of 1992, Ruby Ridge, Idaho, was the setting of an 11-day siege and shootout that resulted in the loss of 3 lives. Those of U.S. Marshal Bill Deegan, 14-year-old Sammy Weaver, and Sammy's mother, Vicki Weaver, shown here cradling her 10-month-old baby moments before her demise. Her husband, Randy Weaver, had failed to appear in court on firearms charges, and he, his family, and a close friend had fled to a cabin in Ruby Ridge to lay low. The property was surrounded by law enforcement on August 21st, who, at the time, kept a low profile. However, that same day, they had a run-in with the Weaver son, Sammy, and Randy's friend, Kevin Harris. During this encounter, Sammy was shot in the back by a marshal, and Kevin killed Marshall Deegan.
Damn.
From there, a green light was given to take out any of the adult family members if the opportunity presented itself. After that incident, the rest of the Weaver family went to reclaim Sammy's body and placed it inside a cabin adjacent to the one they were holding out in. From there, they all agreed not to surrender. The following day, as Randy, his daughter Sarah, and his friend Kevin went to visit Sammy's body, an FBI sniper opened fire on them, striking Randy in the back. They all ran back to the cabin to take cover. The sniper fired a second shot as the group scrambled inside, striking Kevin Harris in the chest. Vicky, who was still holding her baby at the time, happened to be standing just behind the door.
Damn.
The bullet exited Kevin and fatally struck Vicky, narrowly missing the 10-month-old in her arms. Vicky and her family were by no means saints and held some very horrible opinions, but this shot was undeniably reckless, given that the marshals had taken this photo just moments prior and knew of the baby's presence. After this incident, Randy Weaver was arrested. The only thing he was found guilty of was missing his original court date, for which he served 16 months behind bars. He and his surviving relatives, in turn, filed a wrongful death suit for $200 million, related to the killing of his son and wife. The matter was settled out of court.
But see, at the end of the day, y'all, I blame fucking Randy, man. I'm mad at him, bro, because you put your wife and your kids in this situation, bro. Like, dude, okay, if you got into it, you know what I'm saying, if you want to avoid court dates and avoid the law and all that, then you avoid it by yourself, but don't put your damn family in this situation too. Friends, like, dude, if this is what you want to do it by your fucking self.
Randy was awarded $100,000, and his 3 daughters $1 million each.
Wow. Wow. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's the end of the video, y'all. That's the end of it, man. I thought we had one more story. But wow, I'm shocked. They did get some money, but I'm shocked, but it makes sense though. Because it was a wrongful killing that happened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, bro, Randy, you should have just never had any of your family involved in none of that, bro. You took your problem and made it a family problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's fucked up about that with my brothers and sisters. But these was some more just crazy, disturbing backstories. I want to reiterate again real quick, y'all, man. You going to the ATMs late at night trying to get you some money out, man. Be freaking safe and be aware of your surroundings as much as you possibly can, man. For real. The lady, I still don't know, y'all. Was that lady dead or was she alive in that photo, man? I don't know, man. That part right there, I think I can go. I'm gonna go back and forth on that one for a long time. I'm 50-50 right now. I'm really 50-50 right now, my brothers and sisters. Let me look and see what else we had real quick, man. Y'all know I be fucking forgetting this shit. Oh yeah, the second photo. What y'all think, man? Do y'all think that this man was involved with the crime of this platinum, or did he have no involvement and just was getting robbed and end up getting killed? Because the one thing that I can say I truly 100% believe is he got killed by that dude in that mask. You know what I'm saying? That one was crazy, man. There was a lot of crazy ones on this shit, y'all. And the last one I want to talk about real quick is the damn lady who knew she was about to die but stood strong and then had a little smirk on her face, like, I ain't worried about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't hurting me, my nigga. Like, y'all not, this ain't hurting me. Hey, if this how I gotta go, this how I go. But I'm gonna stand tall, I'm gonna stand strong. I'm brave, I'm strong like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't touching me. Like, that's a very iconic photo, man. When you really know the backstory to it, that shit is noble as fuck, y'all. Wow, man. I might have to get that photo, man, just to have it in my phone so sometimes I can look at it and be like, this is what being strong strong to the death of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what being standing 10 toes down, no matter what happened, believing in you and what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so that when you know what's going on with that photo, man, it just make it just wild, man. Just wild. But I digress, my brothers and sisters. I'm gonna let y'all go now. I appreciate y'all coming on back once again, man. Hey, y'all know we do this on the daily. And y'all know I will be back tomorrow to get into another one of these true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious, what the is going on type of videos. But until then, my friends, y'all know y'all got to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that. And you know I gotta say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.